Hi everybody, it's Kit with Paper Kits, and I hope you're having a brilliant day wherever you be, and that you are smiling. And I am here with project 3 out of 52, so I got a long way to go. I better hurry up. But what I'm working on today was a template that I found, and they're similar. These are really going to be two different designs, and these are made from just one sheet of 12 by 12. I've done one here in the Graphic 45 Wizard of Oz, Land of Oz paper that I had left over. And this one I think is a glitz piece that I had left over. And okay, I hear half of you out there moaning because you go, oh no, not boxes. And then I hear the other half of you going, oh, how cute, isn't that sweet? So bear with me, you half that are moaning, and let me show you what these are, because they're not exactly exploding boxes. They're along those lines, but let me show you the first one we're going to do, which is this one. And this is basically what it looks like when you open it up. And these are, there you go, little mini albums. This could be a journal. This could be a collage piece. You wouldn't have to put these extra pieces on here. And got this little pinwheel from a friend of mine the other day. Thank you, Michelle. You know who you are. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to do a little puffiness in the center here. I don't usually do that, but I love these little pinwheels, so I just layered up some things about family. These are all the kids, and this says rejoice with your family in the beautiful land of life, and I love that. That's by Albert Einstein, actually. So I wanted to show you how I did this, because yes, it's similar to an exploding box, but it's, I think, better because you can put, let's see, what did I figure out? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You actually put a picture here, 13, 14. Could actually put 2 here, 15. You could get 16 photos in just this little amount of space. So, and it folds up real easy. Again, the only thing I would caution you on is not to get too thick in the center area if you want these flip downs and flip ups on the photos. But anyway, carry on, carry on. Get the show on the road so I can show you how to do it in a real quick 10 minutes. This is very, very simple to do, actually. And all these sides just poke back in there. The lid fits on the top. And here, this one has not been decorated, so it gives you more idea what it looks like. These are some little pieces I had left over because I like to tear them up and make these little raggedy flowers on the top. If we have time, I'll show you how I do that too. But anyway, I gotta quit saying but. Let's get moving. Very, very simple. Get your 12 by 12 piece of paper, and I'm gonna use polka dots. I love polka dots. And this one's by Glitz. It's Afternoon Muse, which I love those paper lines. And the first thing we're gonna do is cut off a 2.5 inch strip, and this will be the sides of the lid. And then we're going to cut off another 2.5 inch strip. I hope I'm cutting 2.5. Pay attention here. Yeah, there we go. Another 2.5 inch strip. It's going to be the top bottom of the lid. Hello, pay attention. Do I just fade off into nothingness? I apologize for that. Now, out of the 9.5 by 9.5 piece that's left, let me cut this border off of it. like you would have to do, and make sure it is 9.5. Gonna be close. Ah, no white lines. Yeah, good job, Glitz. Good job, Fiskars. I'm not sure which one of you is responsible, but okay, we got our 9.5 by 9.5 square. We're going to get our scoreboard, and we are going to score when I find my bone folder. Where'd it go? I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Got it. Okay. You got your 9.5 by 9.5 in your scoreboard. You're going to score at 3.5 and 6. And this is designed to hold the wallet size photos. Rotate it, 1/2 turn, and score again at 3.5 and 6. Okay. And I've discovered those wallet size photos are all different size. So what I do is when I gather a bunch of them, I take the smallest one and use that for the dimension, and just trim all the others up to match it, especially on the center flat part if you're going to go back to back like I did. I'll show you that later. Okay, now on your piece you've got a score line and a score line. Cut on either side of this score line. And do that all the way around. Go to your second score line and cut on either side of it. I like this paper. I can see my score lines really well for a change. And this isn't rocket science. Get as good of a cut as you can. And I'll show you an easy way to get these little taggy tags off. Okay, we're going to fold on the fold line. Look at that. Sticks out. Just whack it off. Fold on the fold line. Just whack it off. This helps these pages tuck in easier, so they're not dragging, scraping and dragging as you fold them in. Gives a little breathing space. And basically, the base box is done. Wasn't that easy? Now, I would also, this project, you're not going to have many scraps left at all, which I love, because then I don't have to decide, am I going to keep it or am I going to get rid of it? All these, you can just throw them away. Burnish all your fold lines just to get a good sharp crease on here. Just work your way around. Any rhythm, any method that you want to use. And I usually put the wild, uninhibited side out. And the calmer side I usually put to the inside of these, just so that this makes a better background. If you're going to collage on this, this would make a great collage too. Little venues in all these different areas. You could even use it as a journaling spot. 1, 2, 3, there's 9. You could use it 9 journaling spots. You can also use the other side too, because some of these are going to tuck in under the side pieces, so you're not going to be able to see them from the outside, so you could also set those up as journaling spots. Now, the next thing we're going to do is on these pieces, these bigger flaps that are on the outside, we're going to have to cut those off so they'll fit up under here. So we're going to cut off 1 inch. But what I do, instead of measuring all those, I just stick them here in my score. And just score them down 1 inch. Now that we know where what we're gonna cut off. And then I just take my scissors and cut them off. And then I save these, cut to the inside of the score line, so you're cutting off your scores. And I save these because we're going to use them. We're going to use them as hinges if you want to do that. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So cut off these 1 inch strips. And now if I were going to ink it, now's when I would ink all these edges, just to do that. But I'm not going to ink this. I'm not going to take the time. You all know how to do that. Set these aside because these are pieces we're going to use. Okay, now this is how the box is going to fold up. Each one of these is just going to tuck under. There you go. There's your box base ready to go. So the next thing we're going to make is the lid. And that is your longer 2 inch piece. And we're going to put it in the scoreboard. Yeah. We're going to put it with the 12-inch side at the top. And we are going to score at 2.75, 5.5, 8 1/4, and 11. Did you get that? That's at 2.75, 5.5, 8 1/4, and 11. Then we're going to turn it. I have to think this out. Yeah, we're going to turn it. And we are going to score 1 inch down the length. Yeah. Okay, now on this, we have got the 1 inch scored area down here. We're going to make some little marks. 1/2 inch on each side of the score line. Let me do it up here where you can see it. Yeah. And what this is going to do is it's going to provide us with these diagonals we're cutting, cut from your mark up to your score line. From your mark up to your score line. It's going to allow us to fold this nicely into a lid. And again, you can make a ton of these really quick, which we like. Get carried away with that score line. Okay. Now we're going to fold all these flaps down. I guess I could burnish these. And we're going to cut this off, this little piece down here. Finish folding. And really, I should be burnishing these because we want good sharp folds on all this up here. Now, there's your lid. And what these are going to do are fold down, and then out of that other 2-inch piece we're going to cut coverings. Unless you could leave the hole there. You could look through that hole. You could put a little venue down inside the box. That could be the peek hole. Oh well, let's get back to business here. I tape this, tuck it under, get it lined up evenly. And then what I do, just to get these square, get this lid square, I work on a grid. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue under each of these edges, the way I want these to tuck. I'll tuck this one under that one, so we've got... Okay, and I use the Scotch Quick Dry Adhesive. So I'm going to set this on my grid pad and just be sure all sides are squared. And then I'll sit here for a minute, hum a song. I usually have music playing in the background. Press down on my little tabs that have glue under them. And this quick dry sets up real quick. And we've got a squared lid. Good job. Love that stuff. So there you go. On that, the basic pieces are done now. Now all we have to do is just trim them out. Look at that. We are finished. No, we're not. We're going to cut out of the other 2-inch strip that we had left over. We are going to cut a... Actually, it's 2.5. We're going to cut a 2.5 by 2.5 inch square, which is real easy to do when you have polka dots, because you can just follow your polka dots. And we're going to glue this piece on the inside. I think I'll put the blue side up. Actually, we're not going to glue, we're going to tape. We're going to tape, center that in there to the best of your ability. Get it squared. Push it down. Actually, I usually put the top on first now that I think about it. Do the same thing. Cut you a 2.5 inch square. Going to sit right here on the lid. And we got the salmon colored polka dots, my favorite part. Yes. Dum, dee, dum, dee, dum, dee, dum. We don't want to push down very hard on this. That's why I usually do this first. And then when you do the inside, you can push down. Make sure your tape's all down. Got that done. The lid is done, unless you want to decorate it like I did by putting a little flower up here. Or actually on this one too, I like using stripes, and that gave me the opportunity to use, to rotate the square and cut off the corners and put it on a diagonal, just to give it a little bit more movement, a little bit more excitement. Probably should ink those edges on that, but we'll do that later too. So now, the only thing left to do, you're going to have this piece left over. So you can utilize this for decoration or to do some more tabs inside here. What I do with these pieces is I cut them off just a tid shorter than the measurement here, which is 2.5. So I'll cut these at 2.375. Let's go ahead and do it. Then I would score them in the center. And I would want this, yeah, we'll score it. No, put this side up because I want it to fold back. I seem to be mumbling a lot today. I don't know what that's about. But what you would do then is put these in the center part as little tabs, little hinges. We'll call them hinges that stick up. Put them all the way around, like we did on the, like I did on this one. Let's get this one out here, so we have time to do the little bitty baby box too. I'm going to show that to you. So these make hinges that you can then attach photos on both sides of them. You can attach anything. On this one, I think what I might do is cut some of the Wizard of Oz characters out of this paper and maybe stage them in here somewhat. I'm thinking about doing a venue with this one instead of a photo album per se. I still might work some photos in here, but I'm liking this a lot. I like the color, and this is Graphic 45, of course, so love the texture of the paper. So that's those pieces, and then the piece that's left over after you've done all your cutting, let me show you what I did on this, is I used it as a label that hangs down on the front. This says, "The family is one of nature's masterpieces." So here's one, again, all decorated. You can see on this hinge I just added some cutouts that I got at Scrappy Boutique. If you're in the Central Florida area too, I want to tell you there is a scrapbook store near the Florida Mall in Florida Terrace called Scrappy Boutique, and I love that place. They carry the Graphic 45 Bo Bunny, Glitz, October Afternoon, just anything that's popular. And what I do is when you go into the store, go all the way to the back to the right-hand corner, and that's their 40% off area. There by the dollhouse and the children's play area. Hit that first and then just work your way back up the store. The Tim Holtz stuff is back in there as you come forward in the store. So Scrappy Boutique. Tell Julie I said hi. My granddaughter loves Miss Julie. Amy's there. Those are my two main people. Everybody in there is nice though. Back to the book. Okay, so what I did was I put pictures, photos back to back, and just put them on those little hinges, so it added another layer. And also this one, again, with this piece being so thick, the photo wasn't able to fold down so you could see it all from one direction, so I just did a little decorative element on there. Probably put something on the back here too. So there you go. From one piece of 12 by 12, and basically it's all the scraps you have left, so you don't have to make a whole lot of decisions about what to do with them, which that's good. So there we go. Let's get on to the little box now, because it is very, very simple to make too. And if you have any questions on that, I just feel like I went through that really fast, but I'm muttering more to myself today than I'm talking out loud, so maybe that's why things are going pretty quick. This is the same technique almost, except the lid's a little bit different. And this is a little surprise box, and I haven't really decorated all this up yet, but once you know how to make one of these, you can make any size you want. So I think that I'm going to make another one probably a little bit bigger because I like things in threes. And this you can make out of scraps of paper. You don't need a full sheet of 12 by 12. So this is just like a little extra bonus project. It has nothing to do with the 52 mini album journals and such from one sheet of 12 by 12. But this one, the little box, I wrote the dimensions down. 3.75. No, that's the little one. This little box, you need a square that's 3.75 by 3.75, and then 2.375 by 2.375 for the lid. And what I do with these is, this is my Inchy box. I buy a lot of Inchies off of Etsy, and these happen to be, what's the gal's name? I really like her. Sabrina, SabrinaZanetti.etsy.com. Sabrina Zanetti at Etsy.com. And look at this. From one sheet, I don't know if you can see all these or not, but in fact I had 3 left over, and I think I paid like $2 or $3 for all these Inchies. And these are called Dream. This is her Dream collection. So what I did, it got so full that it kept popping the lid off. Now, it won't pop the lid off if you have it inside the other box. But after I put all this together, nope, didn't pop the lid off. It was popping the lid off. I guess by tying it up, I tied those little puppies up so they wouldn't keep popping up. But I just love this. This tickles me to no end, and I think this would make a neat swap project, and just see how many different types of Inchies you could get in here. And again, you could take this up in size and do it for Twinchies, for the 2 inches. You could do it for any size once you learn how to make a basic box. So all this is the same method that we did on the base box. Let's go ahead and do it real quick because I think I have time left. So, and you're just going to use scrap paper on this. You're not going to need much at all. We want a piece of, I think this is Kaiser Craft. I forget which collection within it, but I'm sure this is Kaiser Craft paper. Okay, to make the little bitty one, we're going to cut 3.75 by 3.75. I need a new blade, it looks like. Anyway, trying to not cut up this whole piece because I really like the graphics on here. It's so pretty. Shouldn't have gone so slow. 3.75, 3.75 for the base, and 2.375 for the lid. 2.375. That's the mark in between the 2 1/4 and the 2 1/2, right? Right, okay. 2.375. 2.375. Pay attention, pay attention. Okay. Actually, we've got 2 out of that. So I can make another one. Yay! Okay. Scoreboard away, or cutter away, scoreboard out. And on this bottom section, which I'm going to trim up all these raggedies. Although I could just distress all these edges. Okay. Which one do I want out? I'll put this on the outside. Now, you need to be careful about putting directionals on the outside of the box because when it wraps up the other side, it's going to be upside down. So we'll put these on the inside of the box. Okay, we want to score at 1 1/4 and rotate it around and score again at 1 1/4, and then go a half turn, 1 1/4, and again at 1 1/4. Yeah, because we're making a perfectly square little box here. So it's 1 1/4 all directions. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to trim up. We're going to cut on either side of that second score line. Real quick. I wish I could sing. I watch American Idol and think, oh my gosh, those voices are so fabulous. And I start to sing along with it, and it's like, you know, everybody just looks at me like, what are you doing? Why are you ruining this show? So, I can't sing. I'm a Taurus, but I can't sing. I'm the creative one, though. I'm an April. The May ones are the smart ones with the good voices. But we are loyal, and we do just plod along in life. We enjoy everything that has to do with the senses. Smell, taste, touch. There we go. Okay, so our bottom box is all done. Now all we have to do the top is the top, and the top on this one's even easier because we're just going to score 1/2 and 1/2 all the way around. I don't know if I'm in the camera or not. 1/2. And I just rotate just so I know that I'm hitting the same distance each time instead of counting over to the score lines further down. Because my scoreboard, I think this first 1/2 inch measure is a little funky sometimes, but at least I got funky on all 4 sides, so that always works out. Now we're going to clip again on either side of the second score line. So this top is made just like the bottom, except it's got its own dimensions. Fold back the edges and cut. Fold back your edges and cut. Fold back your edges and cut. And one more and we are done. Now on this lid, all you do is put a little bit of glue and tape on these little tabs and just glue them under. Okay? And I won't take the time to do that. Look how perfect that bird came out, right on the lid. The gods are with me. Thank you, angels. Okay, so this is what we're going to have when it's done. And all we need to do is cut a strip of paper out of your scraps. And if you don't have, this one I think was actually 12 inches. No, it's even longer, isn't it? I glued 2 together. Here's what you want to do. Excuse me. Figure out how many you want. These are 1 1/8 by 1 1/8 folds because my inches are 1 and I wanted a little border around them. So cut you a strip of paper 1 1/8, 1.125. That's the mark in between the 1 and the 1.25, the 1 1/4. I know a lot of people have trouble with 8ths, but cut it as long as you want it, and if you want it even longer, like I did, because I think there's 50-some inches on here, just glue, overlap it and glue it, and make it as long as you want. Just be careful, because if you're using this little bitty box, you don't want it to get taller than the sides of the box are. And again, like I had that problem where it wanted to pop the lid off. What I did to control it a little bit, I didn't want to glue something in here because that would just kind of interfere with the side. So I just took a piece of seam binding and just tucked in under the bottom section and tied it. Instead of gluing it like we would usually do under the very bottom, I just tucked it under and tied it up. And that may tame your accordion somewhat, so you don't even need to tie it at a later time. Or you could leave it tied, because it is kind of pretty now that I think about it, opening up the box and seeing that little ribbon all tucked in there. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you have any questions, let me know. And again, just if you I hope you wrote down all the dimensions. If not, watch again, write down your dimensions, and then you can go up or down from those dimensions depending on how big you want to get. This box that we made, you can't get much bigger than this without going over one sheet of paper, because this was designed to utilize every inch of your 12 by 12. So those dimensions are pretty much the largest using one sheet of paper. Now, if you want to make it bigger, you could